Yo, what's good everyone? Your boy Deke back again with another vid, and this time we're going to be reacting to some Steeler news that has happened over the past day or so. It's been a minute since anything interesting has happened with the Steelers, but this is the first one. Arizona Cardinals are signing James Conner to a one-year deal. The general consensus from Steeler Nation on this is we wish James Conner nothing but the best. He's a Pittsburgh kid, represented the city awesome. Things just didn't work out, but we hope you ball out with Arizona. But then there's always got to be that one guy. Live look at James Conner on his way to Arizona. Not gonna lie, this is pretty funny. My initial reaction was, Pittsburgh West, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Another Pittsburgh Steeler goes out to Arizona, but at the same time, I do think it makes sense. Arizona, they need a running back pretty bad. As you can see from the depth chart, their number one running back is Chase Edmonds. They have James Conner in the second slot, which in my opinion is gonna be flipped unless Arizona drafts another running back, but I think James Conner is pretty safely going to be running back number one going into the season. For James Conner, you went to a place that they're pretty much going to use you at least 50 to 60% of the time. That's all you can ask for. Maybe you were hoping for a longer term deal, but these one-year deals, you know, maybe you get 2 or 3 million, then you hit the market next year. I think that's going to work for James Conner as well. And then for you fantasy people out there, I thought this was an interesting angle on it. I saw Matthew Berry pop up on my Twitter feed. So he says, so actually James Conner in Arizona isn't as bad as you think for Chase Edmonds' fantasy value. But then he also goes on to agree, as far as landing spots go, this is a decent one for Conner. Definitely. It's going to be a high-powered offense, and James Conner as of right now is RB1, but let's see what Matthew Berry has to say.
Look, the truth is that I actually don't think this move is as bad for Chase Edmonds' fantasy value as you might initially think. Arizona was always going to add another running back, right? And they've been rumored to be getting, like, whether it's Travis Etienne or Najee Harris or one of the big name running backs in the draft. And so my guess is that by signing Conner, they're not going to do that. And I'd rather take my chances with Conner as somebody who's invested in Chase Edmonds in a dynasty league than you know, one of the big name rookie running backs.
So that's a little bit of a fantasy spin on it, but let's try to do some contract projections with this one because the numbers aren't officially out, but let's see what all the other running backs have signed for thus far. All right, so as we can see here, this is just crazy. The top running back was Kenyon Drake. He got 5.5 a year. Chris Carson at 5.2. Jamal Williams at 3. And then look at Leonard Fournette, 3.25. Hold on, let's do on a per year basis. That is just nuts, man. So I'm going to guess James Conner, he is within the 2 to 3 range. He's probably at the 2.5 range is my guess on a one-year deal. So my final thoughts on the James Conner news is I share very similar sentiments as the rest of Steeler Nation. Thank you for everything you did in Pittsburgh, Pitt Panthers, and Pittsburgh Steelers. Wish you the best of luck out in Arizona. It was just looking like from the start it was going to be mutually beneficial for both James Conner and the Steelers to go their separate ways. We kind of knew this, so it looks like he landed in a pretty good spot. Hopefully he could land the RB1 rule, have 1,000-yard seasons going forward, and not get injured. Best of luck, just not against the Steelers. So the next bit of news, I don't even know if you could call this news. This is more of like speculation, reaching, rumors, whatever you want to call it. But Avery Williamson made an Instagram post, as you can see, A Williamson 54, verified logo. And his caption reads, more to come. He's in a Steelers uniform. This was from the Browns game. This was week 17. He's doing the what's up motion with his hands. I think the main thing we're taking away from this, though, especially according to this Twitter account, is that he's in the Steeler uniform and he's saying more to come. So if you're going to put 2 and 2 together, that means he's coming back to the Steelers. Now, I think it makes sense because at this point in free agency, I don't think Avery Williamson's going to get the best contract ever. It was looking like maybe he was going to get in that $6 million to $8 million range. But right now, there's a lot of people signing for like one-year deals. And I'm assuming it would be for around 2 or 3 million. It just so happens the Steelers have some uncertainty at linebacker. We don't know if we're going to draft someone in the first round. We don't know if Spillane is going to take over that role next to Devin Bush. Like, my general feeling was that I don't think he lived up to what we brought him in for. At the same time, when you look at the stats, he had 111 tackles last year in 15 games, and this was split between 2 teams and his first season back coming off an ACL. Still 28 last year, so he'll be 29. Maybe a little bit at this point in the game. He's a little bit underrated, so I think this move could make sense for both sides. It helps us for depth purposes at inside linebacker. I don't think it's as much of a need to address in the first round of the draft now. So I'm good with it if it happens. Based off that picture, though, are we going to go that far? I'd say it's higher than 50% chance, though, because if he was just going to say more to come and he was going to another team, or maybe he just has other plans in his life going on, he probably would have posted that without a Steeler uniform, given that he is in free agency. So I do think there is a little bit of a positive spin you could take from that Instagram post. But I think that's it in terms of the news. Hopefully we do re-sign Avery Williamson, especially at this point in the game. Best of luck to James Conner. Let me know your thoughts on the James Conner move. What do you think he signed for? Do you think he will be RB1 out in AZ? What do you think his fantasy prospects are? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments. And then also with Avery Williamson, what do you think the chances are that we re-sign him as well? Outside of that, stay chilling. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Peace.